We are in step 19.2, which is all about using relative and absolute cell references. So when you create a formula in Excel, the cell references are formatted as relative cell reference, which means that when the cell is copied to another cell, the references will be adjusted relative to the formula's new location. This automatic adjustment is helpful when you need to repeat the same formula for several columns or rows. And I'll give you an example of that later. There's also times when you want the cell reference to change when the formula is moved or copied to a new cell. For example, you may be calculating a discount rate on a purchase order. The prices should always be multiplied by a fixed amount to calculate the discount. So to create this formula, the format would be an absolute cell reference. So we'll go ahead and get started in step 19.2. You should be in order form 1 and click in cell D4. Now, we left off in step 19.1 by adding our formulas to calculate our line total, and we did it several different ways. So now we are going to simply autofill to D7. Now, when you autofill, it copies the same formula to the remaining selected cells that we autofilled. If you click in cell D4, notice that the formula is A4 times C4. Go down to D5, it's A5 times C5, A6 times C6, and so on and so forth. So Excel knows when you copy the formula to multiply each row, and that's exactly what it has done. So we figured out our line total. The next thing we need to do is click in cell E2. We are going to figure out our discount price. So basically our line total, 5 quantities at $14.99, cost $74.95. But we get a discount of 15%, which is in cell C14. So we need to figure out how to calculate our discount. So click in cell E2, and this is where we will enter an absolute cell reference. Start your formula out with an equal sign, and we want to multiply our line total times shift 8, which is the asterisk key, times our discount. But we want to pull from this cell in all the remaining cells. So let me give you an example. Times C14. Enter. Now our discount will be $11.24. Autofill your formula down. Notice that all the remaining cells are zeros. Now, when you click, it says D3 times C15. Well, C15 is blank. D4 times C16. C16 is blank. So notice the autofill does not work because we want to isolate cell C14 to fill all of these cells. We want it to basically stay in cell C14. So in order to do that, we have to edit our formula in cell E2. So press F2 to edit, and your formula would look like cell C14, which is the discount rate. We want to say $sign C $sign 14. So basically we separated our cell, row, and column by a $sign. Press enter. Let's go back and look at it. Okay. So now we're ready to autofill our discount. And let's see what happens. And there we have it. So based on separating your row and column reference with $signs, let's look at each one. Notice that C14 never changes. C14, D4 times C14, D5, D6, and D7. So the only thing that changed was the line total was updated. But by separating your absolute cell reference by $signs, you basically told Excel that you wanted to pull the 15% discount rate from this cell only. So I hope that wasn't too confusing, that you guys understand how to do a cell reference. And you would do something like that again if you wanted to calculate a discount rate or something of that nature. Okay, so the next thing, let's change our discount rate to 10%. And notice all of your discount rates have been adjusted to reflect a 10%. So it updates. Select the range D2 through D14. And notice that my dollar amount is a 2-digit here, but my discount rate is actually a 3-digit. So what we're about to do is autofill our format in column D to columns E and F. So basically what you will do is get your fill handle and drag it across columns E and F. Now, don't be alarmed. You should have pound signs that look like, well, pound signs. If you drop down on your autofill options, you want to select fill formatting only. And notice that our column E is now formatted just like our column D. So we basically autofilled the columns and selected from our autofill options to fill the format only. You want to keep the format only. So now let's figure out our adjusted price. Click in cell F2. And in F2, we know that our line total, we have our line total, but we want to deduct our discounts to figure out our adjusted price. So let's enter the formula. Our order of operation will be subtraction. So we need to start it off with what? I hope you remember that equal sign. And we will deduct D2 from E2. Remember, you're going to subtract $74.95 minus your discount rate and press enter. So our adjusted price is $67.47. So now we're ready to fill our formula down to F7. Alright, so click the row 4 heading to select the entire row. And in the sales group, click Delete Cells button, and click your Delete Cells. Now, notice that when you did so, the contents shifted up. And notice that the formula has been updated. Everything basically shifted up. E6, click in cell E6, and notice that the absolute cell reference for C14 has been updated to C13, because at first your discount rate was here in C14 and now it's in C13. But if you click here, clicking your absolute cell reference here, it updated all of your C14s to C13. So Excel definitely updates itself. That's the beauty if you have to delete or insert. Alright, so select row 6, and in the Insert Cells button, you want to insert a row. Click cell D7, and notice that the formula has been updated for row 7. Click Undo. Deselect the cells. Save the changes to the workbook, and we will pick up on the next step.